Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the backstory. If you are new here, kindly hit that subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Now ladies and gentlemen, it is apparently clear now that President William Ruto has lost Mount Kenya votes. And with the loss of Mount Kenya, President William Ruto's handlers have been pegging their hopes on ODM, that is the Raila Odinga's stronghold. But it seems that there is division within ODM ranks, with one faction supporting President Ruto's government, while another, led by Sifuna and Orengo, are opposing. So to President William Ruto, a divided ODM going into 2027 general election is not good for him. So apparently today, the group led by Sifuna, while attending a function which was attending a burial service which was also attended by the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, came out and urged their ODM members not to sit back and be cheerleaders in President Ruto's government.
Kuna watu wananiambia ati tukiona mtu kama huyu rafiki yangu Kiborek na wenzake wanasimama wanasema 2027 kura ya Ruto isipotosha watajaza. Ati ninyamaze tu nitakuharibia kura ya AU. Wanasema baba, saa hii tukiona unafiki ambao uko kwa serikali, wanasema wachukue hata watoto ya watu wanawashika, hawawaleti kotini, wanapotelea huko, abductions zinazidi, ati SG wako anyamaze kwa sababu nitakuharibia kura ya AU. Baba, watoto wamefungua shule saini wiki mbili. Serikali kuu haijatuma pesa ya capitation. Wananiambia Sifuna nyamaza, unaharibia baba kura ya AU. Bishop, wacha kama Mungu atanipiga radi nikufe, anipige tu. Lakini vile umeniambia leo, nitasimama kwa ukweli. Kama mambo ni mbaya katika taifa letu, lazima tutasema mambo ni mabaya. Baba, mambo hayako mazuri hapa Kenya na lazima tutaendelea kuzungumza. Ndugu yangu Kiborek, wewe unasema tupe William Ruto nafasi afanye kazi yake. Akikampeni yeye mwenyewe ndiye alituambia akiweka Biblia chini. Akiweka Biblia chini inamaanisha nini? Kwani unachukua miaka 10 kuweka Biblia chini? Sio sisi tulisema, ni yeye mwenyewe alisema ako na mpango, anajua kazi, akiweka Biblia chini atatatua hii maneno. Kwa hivyo tukimkosoa tunamkosoa kwa maneno yake mwenyewe.
Now ladies and gentlemen, that is Sifuna. Sifuna is the ODM Secretary General. And for him to talk that way, it means that whatever is talked about as the ODM Secretary General means that it's something that they might have discussed at the party level. You know, in functions such as this one, where the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is attending, Sifuna and Orengo must have shared all these things with Raila. And in the same function, Raila also talked, but Raila was very, very tactical, because in his address, he addressed the mourners in Dholuo, that is his native language. He decided not to use English or Kiswahili. So what Sifuna is trying to tell the ODM brigade led by the likes of Junet Mohammed, Mbadi and all that is that they need to go back to where they were. ODM has been known all along to be very, very vigilant when it comes to governance. And they're losing face by praising President William Ruto's government, even when there are issues that are being raised by the common man. So at the end of it, ODM will lose the support that it has always enjoyed over the years. But the division within ODM, just as I've said, is not good for President William Ruto. Because President William Ruto, while engaging the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, had the hopes that he was going to inherit the former Prime Minister's political backyard. And a divided ODM and the fact that he has lost Central Kenya makes him like a candidate who has a possibility of serving a one term. And therefore, whatever these guys were talking about here should be handled keenly by President Ruto's handlers. Look at it this way. A divided ODM has a disadvantage, one, to ODM, not only to President William Ruto, because ODM has been banking on the support that they have in different regions so as to win or to get numbers in the parliamentary seats, Senate, and governorship. So if they are divided, it means it will be very easy for President William Ruto's government or party to infiltrate the ODM strongholds and get seats in his strongholds. Not only President Ruto's party, but even what we call independent candidates. And any other party can easily win within the ODM strongholds. And this will eventually make ODM not the strongest party or the party with the largest number of elected member of parliament, but it will water down the strength of ODM. Secondly, just as I've said, is that a divided ODM is not good for President William Ruto. He needs a stronger ODM and a stronger UDA party. Look at it. Someone like Sifuna, who is the senator of Nairobi, needs a divided ODM, and he needs the support of the opposition. You know, right now Kenyans are not per se pro President Ruto's government. And areas like Nairobi have been, domestically, they have been known to be led by opposition party, which is ODM. So if ODM gets into government so much, it means that the support base will shrink. And areas that have been dominantly led by ODM, they will lose them. Then another issue that I also observed is the fact that after Sifuna spoke, Orengo came up and also spoke of ODM not losing its identity. Remember, Orengo is one of the key leaders that I would call the kitchen cabinet of Raila Odinga. We have, leave alone Sifuna. Sifuna can speak at the party level. He has a role that he plays at the party level as the Secretary General. But then there is the kitchen cabinet of Raila Odinga. Those are the likes of, I would say, Orengo, Anyang' Nyong'o, and maybe Mbadi was there at some point, and Uhuru Odinga. The three are the key leaders that if they talk about something, then you'd most definitely know that it must have been discussed by Raila. So when Orengo talked about this, then I was like, there must be something boiling in ODM. Orengo talked about the same, ODM not losing its identity.
Constitutions are never suspended. The law can never be suspended. You must always live by the dictates of the Constitution. If you suspend them, you may be happy now, but in the future, you'll regret. When Hitler formed his first government, it was a coalition. And that coalition died. Those parties completely died. So what I pray for is that the party called ODM, you can stand any storm. And even if you make compromises, you must make compromises on matters of principle. Not be part of praise and worship. We must stand firm. We must stand firm. We must stand firm. Even now in my chambers, I don't go to courts anymore. If I can tell you how many people come and say, can you go to court again? My little son, my little daughter was abducted. And you know, in the old days when someone used to be arrested, and Raila can attest to this, when the police arrest you, you at least have a record that it was the police. Even if they came at night, even if they came in the morning, you will know that it's the police who have arrested you. But now, you can be met anywhere by any gang of people, and then you are arrested. You don't know whether to go to court. The rate of habeas corpus was the most important instrument you used to have, because at least the police used to accept when they arrested somebody. And if they found they could not justify why you have been arrested, then you are served with a detention order. I put it firmly that to help Kenya be a better place, we must live by the Constitution. And I agree, we must form coalitions. We must be in a broad-based government. But our people who are in that government, when there are abductions, you must say, please, please, please. Just like the bishop was saying, the bishop was almost crying. Rama is crying. Kenya is crying. Kenya is crying. That we must stop abductions. We must stop extrajudicial killing so that we can build a truly democratic republic.
So ladies and gentlemen, that is Orengo for you. And then when Raila also came up to speak, he talked about ODM not losing the same identity, just as we've talked about it. But one thing that President Ruto's handlers have been banking on is the fact that Raila is going for the AUC position, that is the chairmanship position. And their hopes has been that Raila wins that position. But the question that lingers at the back of their mind is that Raila talked about that position not being, that his being in opposition or is him not criticizing what is happening in government is not pegged on his winning that position. So let's take, for example, a case whereby Raila doesn't win. If he doesn't win, then it means that he will come back, and the same energy that you saw in that funeral is the same energy that you'd expect when he comes back. So at the end of it, President Ruto and his handlers are praying so much that Raila wins. But even if he wins, his winning has an effect. One is that President Ruto most definitely would want to inherit, just as I've said. But without Raila's presence in the local politics, it means his backyard will not be as energized as it has been when he's running for the presidency. And that in itself can lead to voter apathy. And then secondly, just as you've seen, ODM is now divided. It means that if Raila wins, then ODM will still remain divided. And a divided ODM, just as you've seen, is not going to be good to President William Ruto, as I have told you. In case he loses, it means his backyard or his support are really waiting for his comeback so that he can re-energize the opposition politics in Kenya. If he re-energizes opposition politics in Kenya, if he decides not to work with President William Ruto and he gets back into either vying or supporting someone for the presidency, then that is also not a good message for the president, because he's already lost ground in Mount Kenya, in different parts of the country, and his hopes were pegged on inheriting Raila's backyard, unless he comes back and they strike a deal with President William Ruto so that they work together ahead of 2027, or he can decide to say he's going to retire and let President William Ruto rule. But that will be like a betrayal to his supporters. So ladies and gentlemen, just as I've said, a divided ODM, just as we are observing, is not very good for President William Ruto. And let's him pray that Raila wins. But if he wins as well, it is going to be still complicated. He needs to work around the clock to mobilize Raila's backyard so that they can turn up in 2027. But the most important thing that they should not lose sight of is service delivery. Because in all this, at the end of the day, Kenyans right now are informed. They get all the information. They're able to question some of the things that are being done by the government. So to me, all this hula baloo is not very, the most important thing is service delivery. Within the next 2 years, they need to come up with strategies to transform the economy. If it doesn't work that way, then it's going to be game shot. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us today. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Until next time, bye bye.